Hi guys, welcome to another project. This is my second Python project and my first project for Oasis Infobyte for my internship. So this data set is from Kaggle. It is a retail sales data set for exploratory data analysis, and during this process we're looking for patterns and probable errors in the data set. So to start with, I have a couple of progress insights that I'm going to be looking at. We're looking at the customer age and gender as they influence the purchasing behavior. We're looking at the patterns in sales across the time periods. I'm looking at the product categories that holds the highest appeal among the customers. Then the relationship between age, the spending, and product preferences of customers. The shopping habits of the customers during seasonal trends, the distinct purchasing behaviors based on the number of items bought, per transaction, and then finally the distribution of product prices within each category. So first up is to import pandas and matplotlib, and then load my data set, my CSV file to my data frame. So this is my data frame, and it contains 9 columns. So looking at each of the columns, we see the transaction ID, the date, the customer ID, gender, age, product category, the quantity, price, and the total amount. So the total amount is the product of the quantity and the price per unit. First thing I do is to check for duplicates and drop all duplicates. So, but in this data frame, there are no duplicates. Then I searched for null values. Also, there are no null values. So the next thing I do is to do some, it's kind of like DAX functions, some calculations, and I found the total amount. So the sum of all the total amount, which is 456,000. Then the mean age. So the mean age for all the customers is 41.39, and then the mean age for each gender, so it's which is relatively almost the same, 41.43 and 41.36 for females. So after which I now did a total amount spent by each gender. So for the females, we see 2,000, for the female 220. I mean, for the male 223,000, for the female 232. So which shows that most of the customers are females as they purchased more. Well, maybe not necessarily most of the customers are females, but the female gender made more purchases, if we look at the total amount spent. Then I looked at the unique ages just for me to be able to create my age group. For the first insight, so to find out how the customer age and gender influences the purchasing behavior, I created age bins and then age labels. So this age group is what I use to, divide the total amount for each gender according to their age group. So we grouped by the gender and the age, and then we found the total amount for each gender and age group. So from here we see that the age group 35 to 55 across both gender made the most spend. So they for the females they spent 99,000, and for the males they spent 94,000. So this shows that this age group are at the peak of their earning potentials and are able to spend more perhaps on themselves, on family, and all that. Then we'll also notice that the age group 55 to 100 made the least purchases. So their total spend for females is 45 and for male is 44, which shows that these are the age group that are at the their priorities probably have changed, and they are spending more on they are spending less on items sold by the company. So, and we're also looking at it, we see that all the age groups in the female gender made more purchases than their counterparts in the male gender. Just like we already know that the females spent more in the company than the males. So these are the key observations that I made. And then now we look at the pattern of sales across different time periods. So this data set is for a year. So I'm going to be looking at the weekly sales, the monthly sales, and the quarterly sales. But before that, I have to find out if my date column is, in the date time format. So which it is not. So I've changed it to date time format here. So now I've split the date column into, days of the week, the month, and quarter to be able to find out the total amount spent across, the days of the week, across the months of the year, and across each quarter in the year. So I've done that, and I'm able to plot a graph for each of the columns. So for the sales, the weekly sales, we see that Saturdays, most of those purchases were made on Saturday, and then followed by Mondays. Then Fridays too recorded a considerable amount of sales, of amount total sales, while Tuesdays as well also, recorded a considerable amount of total sales. Then the least sales was done in Thursday. So this is kind of like a pattern that shows that people are ready to buy more when it is towards, the end of the week and weekend, when they have time to make more purchases than during the week. And that's, even preceding, days preceding the weekend, like the Monday, the first work day of the week, people are still making purchases. Now then, that's Monday, Tuesday. Then Thursdays, which is close to the end of the work week, less purchases are made. Then for monthly sales, we see that most sales were done in May, followed by October, and then February, and then December. This shows a pattern, a seasonal pattern, in that people are making more purchases towards the holiday seasons. People make purchases towards the summer times. People make purchases around, February, which, could be accounted for, by the Valentine season and all that. So people are making purchases around these specific times of the year. And then we see that less purchases are made when, children are going back to school. After summer, people are making less purchases, perhaps because their focus is now more on back to school purchases and all that. Then for the quarterly sales, the fourth quarter records the highest number of sales, which is in line with, purchases done towards the end of the year, the holiday season. People are making much purchases perhaps due to Black Friday, due to discounted sales that goes on specifically around the period. People are doing more in, gifting and all that. So more purchases are made around that period. Then we see that the second highest is the second quarter, and we can already see that this is around April to June, which is, towards the summertime. People are buying during summer as well. So this is towards the resumption of school. People's purchasing pattern changes. The kind of things people are buying is no longer things that have to do with what the company sells. So these are the key observations for each week. Saturday records the highest sales, which suggests that more shopping happens, on the weekends, because perhaps free time. Then Friday and Monday also shows strong sales, maybe because people are shopping before the weekend or at the beginning of the work week. Then Thursday indicates in low sales indicates on Thursdays indicates that, customers are less active towards the end of the work week. And then for monthly sales, we've seen that May shows the highest, which is due to maybe holiday promotions and all that during the summertime. Then February, October, and December also shows strong sales, perhaps because of Valentine, maybe early shopping, preparation for, Halloween, end of year bonuses, and the festive seasons. Then we look at the quarterly sales, which is highest in the fourth quarter. People are doing Black Friday shopping, people are doing Cyber Monday shopping, people are doing holiday season shopping, and generally people are spending more. Then in the third quarter, which is the lowest, could be due to, slow down, during typical slowdown during summer, where people are on vacation, people are spending less on retail, and then people are waiting for back to school sales in late August and early September. Then we look at the product categories that holds the highest appeal to amongst the customers. So for this, I categorized the products, the category of sales according to the products, and and then summed the total amount for each product according to the product category, sorry, and then sum of the total amount for each category. So for here, we see electronics with the highest number of sales done with 156,000, then followed by clothing, and then beauty products. So more people are tending towards more of buying more of electronics, followed by clothing, and then beauty products. So electronics happens to be the categories that holds the highest appeal amongst the customers. Then, if we look at the relationship between the age, the spending, and the product preferences, I used a box plot, and I using the age column that I had already created, the age group column that I had already created. I imported Seaborn as SNS. So for this one now, we're going to like plot the box plots using the product category, the age group, and then the total amount. Looking at the box plot, we look at the median spending for across all the categories. We see that the category that shows the highest potential of spending is the age group 35 to 55. This is their median spending for beauty products, their median spending, which is slightly lower for clothing, and then their median spending for electronics. Then for the age group 16 to 35, they show strong medium spending across the beauty products and the clothing, and less in electronics. So this shows that this age group are more interested in fashion and beauty than electronics. Then for the age group 55 to 100, they made less spending. You can look at their medium spending is really low under beauty and clothing, but the highest for electronics, which shows that these people are spending more on electronics than any other products. Yes, so they are making more significant investments in electronics, which, if we look at all this pattern, now shows that each age group has a definite pattern of shopping. The age group 16 to 35 are shopping more in the beauty and clothing segments or product category, and less in the electronics category. Meanwhile, the age group 35 to 55 are, relatively stable across all categories. They are buying beauty, they are buying clothing, they are buying electronics, but highest in the beauty and electronic categories. Then for the age group 55 to 100, those ones tend towards more of electronics. So this means that the company can actually target, each age group based on, the information about what they are most interested in buying. Then we see a few outliners in each of the categories. Then to see if customers adapt their shopping habits, or how the customers adapt their shopping habits during the seasonal trends. So here we're going to look at how, customers shopped in each of the category per quarter. So that means that we are grouping each product category. We are grouping the total amounts according to the product category, and the quarterly, and according to the quarters. I mean, each quarter we want to see what happened in each quarter for each product category, what sales happened. The categories, across all the categories, most of the sales were made in the fourth quarter, indicated by the red color, the red bar. Most of the sales happened in the fourth quarter for each of the categories. Now then we see that for electronics, now there were a lot of purchases in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter, while for clothing, a lot of the purchases were done in the first quarter and in the second quarter. But for beauty, it is relatively stable, you know but that means that there is, a specific, flow throughout the year. Sales flows throughout the year at a specifically almost equal range. So these are my key observations: that the sales trend shows that there's clear seasonal pattern, which is the fourth quarter. There's a clear seasonal pattern that people are buying more clothing, more, in the fourth quarter than any other quarter. So that means they're buying towards holiday season, you know, Black Fridays, and all that, because of the maybe promotions, the season, and all that. And that in the first quarter, people are buying more of clothing and beauty products in the first quarter. They're buying more of that in the first quarter. So, and then we see that for the second quarter, people are buying more of clothing, they are buying more of electronics in the second quarter. So this pattern, this is like a definite pattern that the company can study the number of transactions, and then the frequency of items being bought, the number of items being bought per transactions. So for one, we will see that four items shows, well, relatively people are more likely to buy one or two or three or four items, but we see that people bought more of four items per transactions than any other, you know quantity of items. And then followed by just one, and then followed by two and three. But if you look at the pattern, we see that people are likely to buy any amount of items at any given time. So this is an indication that there has to be like enough inventory available. So when people want to buy one, inventory is available. People want to buy two items at a time, inventory to cover this is available. People want to buy three items or four items, there's enough inventory to cover this. So these are my key observations that yeah, we've talked about the frequency. People are likely to buy as many as four items at a time or per transactions. Then this involves, okay, since customers equally like to buy, suggests that inventory should be balanced. Yes, this was what I was explaining, that there should be a wide, range of purchase stocking strategy should be well coordinated to accommodate, small, medium or higher sized purchases. Now, this is the final insights. We want to find out the distribution of product pricing within each category. So for this, I'm using the box plot again. So for here, we're going to look at the category and then the price per unit. So we want to see how, the pricing strategy, how it works along, I mean, within each category, how pricing is spread within each category. So we see that all the three categories, they all have a wide range of pricing, a wide range of price range. So we see that the maximum price for each category was around 500 per unit. The minimum price, well, maybe about 50 or so per unit. If we look at, the Q1, see is about 50 per unit. And then if we look at the median price, we see that most of the items are priced lower. So that means that they have a lot of lower priced items than upper priced items. So here we see that the median price for beauty is relatively low. Yeah, which is what we see here. The median price is relatively low. So this is an indication that they have a lot of lower end products with, lower end priced products in in each of the categories. And then, the height, or yeah, shows that there is a significant variability in the the prices. So they have prices for people, things that are lower priced, things that are upper priced, so for people that, things that are budget friendly, people can buy. Then they have things that are premium, so people can buy, but they have more of lower priced products in stock. So those are the insights that are gleaned from the data set. Thank you for coming along with me today.